Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Love Doesn't Hurt podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Leonard. So today we will be covering the danger assessment. The danger assessment is a questionnaire used to determine the level of risk a woman has of being killed by her abusive intimate partner. Unfortunately, there have not been tools like this created to determine risk for male domestic violence victims or victims in same-sex relationships. The only similar instrument is for female same-sex relationships to predict reassault. That assessment, labeled the DA-R, can be found on the same website as the danger assessment I will be covering today, and is pretty similar in the style of questions it contains. The danger assessment is copywritten material, so I have included a citation and a link for it in the podcast description. So, what is the danger assessment and how does it work? The danger assessment was developed by Jacqueline Campbell with consultation from battered women, domestic violence shelter workers, law enforcement officials, and other clinical experts on battering. It is a 2-part questionnaire with a calendar and a 20-item scoring instrument. The calendar helps assess severity and frequency of abuse during the past year. Women are asked to mark approximate days they were abused and then rank the severity of the incident on a scale from 1 to 5. With 1 being slapping or pushing, having no injuries or lasting pain, 2 being punched, kicked, or having abuse resulting in bruises, cuts, and or continuing pain, 3 being, quote, beaten up, with severe bruising, burns, or broken bones, 4 an abuser threatening to use a weapon, or abuse resulting in a head, internal, or permanent injury, abuse resulting in a miscarriage or being choked, and 5 being that the abuser used a weapon or the victim was wounded with a weapon. The calendar portion of the danger assessment is used to open a victim's eyes to exactly what they're enduring. Seeing the abuse written out on a calendar helps victims to reduce denial or minimization of the abuse, especially because using a calendar format is proven to improve accurate recall in other situations. The 20-item questionnaire uses the same weighting system as the calendar, but in response to yes or no questions that consider the risk factors associated with intimate partner homicide in heterosexual relationships in which the man is the abuser. Now, let's look at all of the questions on the 20-item portion of the danger assessment. 1. Has the physical violence increased in severity or frequency over the past year? 2. Does he own a gun? With he being the person who is physically hurting you. 3. Have you left him after living together during the past year? 4. Is he unemployed? 5. Has he ever used a weapon against you or threatened you with a lethal weapon? If yes, was the weapon a gun? 6. Does he threaten to kill you? 7. Has he avoided being arrested for domestic violence? 8. Do you have a child that is not his? 9. Has he ever forced you to have sex when you did not wish to do so? 10. Does he ever try to choke or strangle you or cut off your breathing? If yes, has he done it more than once, or did it make you pass out or black out or make you dizzy? 11. Does he use illegal drugs? With drugs meaning stimulants or amphetamines, meth, cocaine, or other street drugs and mixtures? 12. Is he an alcoholic or problem drinker? 13. Does he control most of your daily activities? For instance, telling you who you can or can't be friends with, when you see your family, how much money you can use, or when you can take the car? 14. Is he violently and constantly jealous of you? For instance, saying, "If I can't have you, no one can." 15. Have you ever been beaten by him when you were pregnant? 16. Has he ever threatened or tried to commit suicide? 17. Does he threaten to harm your children? 18. Do you believe he is capable of killing you? 19. Does he follow or spy on you, leave threatening notes or messages, destroy your property, or call when you don't want him to? And 20. Have you ever threatened or tried to commit suicide? Now total your number of yes answers and talk to a nurse, advocate, or counselor about what the danger assessment means in your situation. Every domestic violence case is different, but the danger assessment is an incredibly useful tool when it comes to evaluating your safety if you are fearing an abusive situation. It clearly lays out the most pressing concerns and common behaviors exhibited by abusers who are capable of heinous crimes. If you have answered these questions as you've listened to the podcast, please reach out to a domestic violence shelter or counselor in order to assess your individual situation. If you answered yes to any of these questions, make sure you are incredibly careful in doing so, and please stay safe. As always, it is my goal with the Love Doesn't Hurt podcast to create another resource people can use to understand their experiences, get help, and know they're not alone. If you need immediate help, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or text START in all capital letters to 88788. You can also visit their website, thehotline.org, for more information. If you enjoyed this episode or learned something new, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. If you would like to support the podcast, I would really appreciate you giving it a 5-star rating wherever you listen. Thank you for listening to the Love Doesn't Hurt podcast. I hope you all have a great day, and remember, spread love everywhere you go.